primary 4 members. We are back today again. The other time we looked at what we call weather, and we said that weather is the state of atmosphere at a given time and place. Then from there we looked at the elements of weather, or the factors of weather. The factors of weather, we talked about the sunshine, rainfall, cloudy cover. We talked about temperature. All those were factors of weather, which we call the elements of weather. You can call them elements of weather, or you can call them factors of weather. Then we looked at the types of weather. We say there are different types of weather, like the windy weather, like the sunny weather, like the cloudy weather. All those we looked at them. There were 4 main types of weather: windy weather, sunny weather, cloudy weather. And we looked at what we call the weather instruments, the instruments which are found at the weather station. We say the instruments which are found at the weather station. We talked about the rain gauge, and we said it's used to measure the amount of the rainfall received. Then we looked at the thermometer, the 6 thermometer, which is used to measure both the minimum and the maximum temperature. We looked at the windsock, and we said that the windsock is used to measure the strength of wind. Then an anemometer is used to measure the speed of wind. Then we looked at anemometer to measure the speed of wind. Then we looked at the wind vane, which shows the direction of wind. But today we are going to look at sources of water. We are going to look at the sources of water. Then there is what we call the natural sources of water, and there is what we call the artificial sources of water. So today, let us look at water and look at the sources of water. Primary 4, we are looking at sources of water as our lesson today. But first, we are going to look at the sources of water. They are divided into natural and artificial. When someone talks about a source of water, it's a place where we get water from. A source of water is where we get water from. That's what we call a source of water. Then, when they ask what is the main natural source of water, my first question: what is the main? What is the main natural source of water? What is the main natural source of water? What is the main natural source of water? This one becomes our first question. Do you know the place of where we get water, which is naturally? The answer is rain. The main natural source of water is rain. Not rainfall, no. But rain is the main natural source of water. Other natural sources of water, we can have them here. Other natural sources of water. Other natural sources of water. Other natural sources of water. These the bodies that produce water naturally are what we call the natural sources of water. They produce water by nature. These ones we have rivers. We have rivers. Rivers are natural sources of water. We have lakes. Rivers, lakes. We have swamps as the natural sources of water. We have rivers, lakes, swamps. We have seas. Then we have oceans. We have oceans. What of the artificial sources of water? We look at artificial sources of water. Artificial sources of water, we call them artificial, or they are man-made. man-made sources of water. There are very many man-made sources of water, dear my primary 4 students who are there at home. There are very many artificial sources of water that quite where we get water when they are man-made. One, we have taps, artificial sources of water. We have wells. There are wells which are made by people. Then we have taps. Taps are artificial. We have boreholes. We have boreholes as artificial sources of water. We have tanks as artificial sources of water. There are very many artificial sources of water. Taps, wells, boreholes, tanks, man-made. These are man-made areas where we get water from. Then etc. etc means and so on. They are very many. So here we look at them and we say we can look at after looking at the sources of water, let us look at the properties of water. Properties of water. Properties of water. We cannot look at all the properties, but we can look at just a few of the properties which are there. One, water has no color, meaning water is colorless. Water is colorless. Water is colorless. That one means that water does not have color. When they say tell us the color of water, you will fail to give the color of water because water is colorless. Another thing, water has no taste. Water has no taste. Water has no taste. In bracket, tasteless. Water has no taste. In bracket, water is tasteless. In bracket, water is tasteless. What we have no taste, meaning that it is tasteless. Another property of water. Another property of water. Water has no smell. Water has no smell. Water has no smell. As a property of water, you can't tell me that water smells chocolate. Water smells like this. Water smells, it has no. Those are what we call the properties. Today there's a simple assignment. You can't get what I put in the glass. Then you describe for us. I put in the glass, you taste, drink some water. As you're drinking, then record it down. What is the taste of the water you're drinking? Another is water has no definite shape. Water has no definite shape. Has no definite shape, but it takes the shape. But it takes the shape of the container. Water has no definite shape, but it takes the shape of the container. When you put water in a circular container, it will take the shape of that container. When you put the water in a triangular container, water will be in a triangular shape. And water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. When it reaches there, it is already a gaseous state. There are very many properties of water, but just we are talking about the few. Water is colorless, water has no taste, water has no smell, water has no definite shape, but it takes the shape of the container. Those are some of the properties. I have not said all, but I said the some of the properties. And when they ask you at what degrees does water boil, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. In the Celsius scale, on the centigrade scale, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. And when it freezes, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, which is 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. So primary 4, let us look at the uses of water to people and other animals. Uses of water to people and other animals. Uses of water to people and other animals. How is water used to people and other animals? Here we shall say water is used for drinking. One, it is used for drinking. Water is used for drinking. Water is used for drinking. We drink water because without drinking water, we cannot live. So we use this water for drinking. Have you tasted water since morning? If you have done so, that is okay. Another one, water is used for cooking, said for drinking. Another one is for cooking, for drinking, for cooking. Another is of water for washing, clothes, for washing clothes and utensils, for washing clothes and utensils. And there are very many other uses of water. Sometimes water is used for watering crops, and water is a habitat of some animals. Like when they ask you, what is the habitat of a fish? The habitat of a fish is water. So water has got the great uses to both uses of water to people and other animals. Water is used for drinking, water is used for cooking, for washing clothes and utensils. Then water is a habitat of some animals. Those are some of the uses of water. Then we shall look at uses of water to plants. Plants use water for germination. For the plants to germinate, they need water. And we have plants use water for photosynthesis. They taught us in our first topic of plants. They taught us about photosynthesis. And the teacher told us that photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their own food. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their own food. But when they ask us the raw materials for photosynthesis, we talked about water and carbon dioxide. So water is used by plants for germination. Water is used by plants for photosynthesis as a raw material. Then water is used for transpiration. They told us that transpiration is the process by which plants lose water into the atmosphere in form of water vapor. The process by which plants lose water in the atmosphere in form of water vapor. Then germination is the process or is the development of a seed into a seedling. You can say germination is the development of a seed into a seedling, or we say germination is the process by which seeds grow into seedlings. The process by which seeds grow into seedlings. But the seeds need water because water softens the seed coats during germination. Let us erase this side here. Then we erase this side here. we look at, as we are continuing primary 4, we look at the uses of water. We look at the uses of water to plants. From here, then we look at uses of water to plants. 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 1. Plants use water for germination. Water for germination. Plants use water for germination. 2. Plants use water for photosynthesis. Plants use water for photosynthesis. Those are 2. And another one, plants use water or water dissolves mineral salts for the plants. Or plants, another thing is plants use water for transpiration. Plants use water for transpiration. Plants use water for transpiration. So all these are the uses of water. There are very many uses of water to plants, primary 4. But these were some uses of water to people and animals. These are the uses of water to plants. But here I can give you a simple assignment, activity which you are going to do at your free time. We want to prove whether water is needed during the process of germination. We want to prove whether water is needed during the process of what? Germination. What are we going to do? We are going to make a simple experiment at home. You yourself, as the activity, you are going to make a simple experiment at home. You are going to get the following. I'm going to give you the steps and you do it. Then you tell us what you have seen at the end of the day. What are you going to have? The materials you need to have in our activity. Materials, activity, in bracket, we are going to carry what we call our experiment. The activity is the experiment on germination. Our activity we are going to do is the experiment. And the experiment on germination. The experiment on germination. We want to prove whether we need the water is important. What are we going to have first? Let us have the materials. Let us have the materials. The first material here, we have bean seeds. We have bean seeds. Then we have 2 containers. We have bean seeds. We have 2 containers. From the containers we shall have cotton wool. From the containers we shall have cotton wool. Then this cotton wool, it must be dry. We use dry cotton wools. We use dry cotton wools. Then we look at the steps now. We look at the steps. I'm saying that the experiment on germination, that is the activity. Which materials we need to have? We need to have bean seeds, 2 containers, dry cotton wools, and water. Oh, I've forgotten. And water. Then let us erase the side. I've told you as erasing, these are the properties of water. and uses of water. Now, let us erase the side. Then, after removing what is on the side, then we look at the steps. This is a very good activity you are going to do. This is a very good activity. We want to see whether water is essential during germination. I've said these are the materials you must have as you're doing this activity. Then you look at the steps. The first step, we look at the steps. The first step are put bean seeds. Put bean seeds in the 2 containers. Put bean seeds in the 2 containers. But remember, don't cover my containers. Number 2, insert cotton wool. Insert cotton wool in the containers. Number 3, this cotton wool must be dried. Number 3, add little water. Add little water in 1 container. In 1 container, in order to make the cotton wool wet. The cotton wool wet. Are you getting me? In order to make the cotton wool wet. Put the containers outside under shade. Put the containers outside under shade for about 4 days. For about 4 days. Then after the 4 days, number 5, after 4 days, check what has happened to the seeds. Check what has happened to the seeds in different containers. Then you record. Different containers, then you record. What you have seen, these are the steps. Put beans in the 2 containers, insert cotton wool in the containers, add little water in 1 container in order to make the cotton wool wet. Just in 1 container. Another container, put beans with the dry cotton wool. Another container, put beans. You insert in cotton wools. After inserting, you add water to keep the cotton wool wet. Then after, put the containers outside under shade for about 4 days. You put it under shade. I don't want it when it's raining the water to enter into those containers. No, you put it just under shade outside. Don't cover the containers. Then after 4 days, this one was after 4 days. After 4 days. After 4 days, check what has happened to the seeds in different containers. Then you record. You check in the container where you added some water, and even in another container where you never added water. Then after checking what happened, you will prove by yourself that water is used by plants during the process of germination. Record, take the recordings separately. Primary 4, I love you. When I come back, I need your observation. You do the observation, then you will tell me what you observed. I wish you the best. As I come back, we shall look at a water cycle. God bless you.